There's a lot of hatred in the world, and I'm not sure that there's always been this much of it, or whether it's increasing, but I'm sure that I'm not alone in thinking that this is too much. So I started watching its creation, and I noticed something interesting, a kind of game that people play when they interact with beliefs that are different from their own. We can play a couple of rounds. It's a very simple fill-in-the-blank question. If I am for immigration because I believe people deserve equal opportunity, then you are against immigration because you believe... There's a kind of pseudo-logic drawing us to fill in the blank with the opposite rationale. When it's written out like this, we can probably recognize the false dichotomy it's leading us into. But the power of this game is that when it's played in the real world, it tends to sneak in just outside our conscious perception. But once you recognize this game, you'll see it appear in every divisive debate. If I am against increasing government regulation because I believe freedom is a fundamental right, you are for increasing government regulation because you believe... Unfortunately, we still haven't seen the full power of this game, because the rationales we used in these two examples are fairly reason-based. In reality, the strongest beliefs also have an emotional backing. If you feel strongly in favor of immigration, it's probably not because of equal opportunity in the abstract. Instead, it brings to mind a family in a war-torn country needing safety, or a child separated from her family. In the same way, if you feel strongly opposed to increasing government regulation, it's probably not because of freedom in the abstract. Instead, you might think of the oppression of a communist regime or the helplessness of a country after it has given up so many small rights that it can no longer resist big ones being taken away. Imagine the power of these emotions at play in our game. If I am in favor of immigration because I care about families who need our help and cruelty against children, you are against immigration because... If I am opposed to increasing government regulation because I love my country and its people and do not want to see them slowly suffocated, you are in favor of increasing government regulation because... Maybe I'm wrong, but aren't these the kind of ideas that drive us to hatred? Aren't these what motivate us to shout and fight and resist in whatever way we can? And in a way, who can blame us? Hurting families and children, apathy towards the destruction of our country, those are things worthy of hatred. And if we think a belief leads to horrible things, maybe it's justified to hate it. But is it really the belief that we hate? Or has our mind begun playing the game where it takes what that person believes and infers why they believe it, and in doing so transfers our hatred from belief to person? Think of the issue that you are most passionate about. Think of an image that embodies the reason for your belief, the passion you feel about it. Now, tell me, can you separate those who are opposed to that belief with those who are opposed to that image? How many of us can look at someone on the other side of a debate and say, I understand how you feel. I understand why you feel that way. I understand that while your belief is opposed to mine, that does not mean your motives are. If you can, hats off to you. If you struggle to, I think you're in the majority. I think that struggle is happening on the front lines of the war against hatred. It's difficult, and one I hope we won't lose.